Hello and welcome to another advanced IELTS listening practice test. Today's session is designed to truly challenge your listening skills with a diverse range of complex topics and demanding question types. This test is structured precisely like the real exam. You'll have 30 minutes for the listening sections, followed by 10 minutes to transfer your answers to your answer sheet. Remember, each recording will be played only once. Pay close attention to detail, actively listen for paraphrased information, and try to identify distractors. This is a tough one, so focus. Get ready with your pen and paper, and let's start. We'll begin now with Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a university student and a career advisor about an internship opportunity. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
Good morning. University Career Services. Jane speaking. How can I assist you?
Good morning, Jane. My name is Liam Collins, and I'm calling about the marketing internship advertised on the university portal.
Ah, Mr. Collins. Could you please spell your surname for me?
Certainly, it's Collins.
Thank you, Liam. And your student ID, please.
It's LHM 7709K.
LHM 7709K. Got it. And what course are you currently enrolled in, Liam?
I'm studying media studies, specializing in digital content.
Media Studies. Excellent. And which year are you in?
I'm in my final year now, hoping to graduate next summer.
Final year. So you're looking for something post-graduation or for the summer break?
For the summer break, ideally. And specifically, I'm interested in the digital marketing internship with Innovate Solutions.
Digital marketing with Innovate Solutions. I see that.
Now take half a minute and check your answers to questions 1 to 5. Now you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
Okay, Liam, let's go over the details for the Innovate Solutions internship. It's a 12-week program, full-time. The start date is set for the 15th of July.
Right, 15th July. And where are they located?
Their offices are right in the city centre, on the 9th floor of the Sterling Tower.
Got it. What would be the main tasks involved?
The primary responsibility for the intern will be assisting their team with various online advertising campaigns. This involves content creation, scheduling, and some basic analytics.
Sounds interesting. What kind of skills are they looking for?
They're looking for someone with strong communication skills, obviously, a good familiarity with various social media platforms, and crucially, some knowledge of editing software, particularly video editing, would be a huge advantage.
Okay, I've used some video editing tools. And the interview process?
It's quite straightforward. You submit an initial online application with your CV and a cover letter. If you're shortlisted, they'll invite you for a panel interview with 2 members of their marketing team.
A panel interview. Thanks for the heads up. This has been very helpful.
You're welcome, Liam. Good luck with your application.
That is the end of Section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turn to Section 2. You will hear a representative from a local heritage trust talking about their project to restore an old lighthouse. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Good morning, everyone. I'm Eleanor Vance from the Coastal Heritage Trust, and I'm here today to tell you about our ambitious new project, the restoration of the historic Blackwood Point Lighthouse. This iconic structure, standing proudly on the cliffs for over 150 years, has a fascinating past. Its original purpose, and indeed its primary function until it was decommissioned in 1990, was crucial for maritime safety. It was built specifically to warn ships of the treacherous rocks that lie beneath the surface along this stretch of coastline. While it naturally guided all vessels, its core design was for hazard warning, not simply guiding fishing boats or serving as a military post, though it saw some use as the latter during wartime. Unfortunately, since its decommissioning, the lighthouse has fallen into a state of considerable disrepair. While we've had some minor storm damage, the real culprit has been the simple, prolonged absence of consistent maintenance. Over the decades, weather, salt erosion, and the lack of human attention have taken their toll far more than any single catastrophic event or deliberate damage. Our trust has secured some initial funding, but the overall project is substantial. We've conducted a thorough assessment, and our current estimate for the total restoration cost is approximately £280,000. So, we're looking at just under £300,000 to bring it back to its former glory. Once restored, it won't be just a static monument. We envision it as an educational and tourist attraction. One unique feature we're planning is a small museum on the ground floor, showcasing its history, the life of lighthouse keepers, and the local marine environment. The light system will be modern, but the focus is on the museum for public engagement, not a rotating platform. In terms of the restoration phases, our immediate priority, the very first step, must be securing the outer structure. This involves essential repairs to the masonry and ensuring it's completely weatherproof before any interior work, like repairing the staircase or installing new wiring, can even begin safely. Now take half a minute and check your answers to questions 11 to 15. Now you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. To reach our fundraising target, we're organizing several events. Let me outline some of the key ones and their objectives. First, we have the Community Bake Sale. This event is designed to be very inclusive and accessible, with everyone encouraged to contribute and attend. Its primary goal is to encourage widespread community participation and foster a sense of shared ownership in the project. Next, the Charity Marathon. This is a much larger scale event, aimed at drawing significant numbers of participants and spectators. The main purpose here is to generate significant funds quickly through registration fees and pledges, pushing us closer to our financial goal. The local craft fair will be held next month. This offers a platform for local artisans to sell their goods, and a percentage of sales will go towards the lighthouse. Its core aim is to engage local businesses and create partnerships within the community, fostering economic support for the project. Following that, we're launching a photography competition. Participants will submit images of the local coastline, including the lighthouse, and the winning entries will be exhibited. The main intention of this is to showcase artistic talent in the region while simultaneously raising the profile of the lighthouse project. And finally, our most prestigious event, the Gala Dinner, will be held in November. This black tie event, with high ticket prices and auction items, is strategically designed to attract corporate sponsorship and high net worth individuals, bringing in substantial donations from key stakeholders. We hope you'll support us in one or more of these initiatives.
Now turn to Section 3. You will hear two university students, Chloe and Liam, discussing their research on the ethics of artificial intelligence. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24.
Hi, Liam. Let's nail down the core focus for our AI ethics presentation. We've got so much material, but we need to identify the most critical issues to highlight.
Definitely. I've been thinking, we could talk about job displacement, how AI might render certain professions obsolete, but that feels more like a socio-economic impact than a purely ethical one, wouldn't you say?
I agree. While it's a huge consequence, it's a secondary ethical concern stemming from other issues. I think the inherent bias in algorithms is much more fundamental. If the data AI is trained on reflects societal prejudices, the AI will perpetuate and even amplify them. That's a huge ethical minefield.
Absolutely. Algorithmic bias is non-negotiable for our focus. It directly impacts fairness and equity. What about autonomous weapon systems? The killer robot scenario?
That's profoundly concerning, but it feels like a very specific, albeit extreme, application of AI. We're aiming for broader ethical dilemmas that permeate various aspects of AI development. I'd argue that privacy and surveillance concerns are far more pervasive and immediately relevant to everyday AI usage. From facial recognition to data collection, it touches everyone.
Good point. Privacy is a massive concern for the public right now. So, bias in algorithms and privacy. What about copyright and intellectual property in AI-generated content?
Important, yes, but perhaps more of a legal and intellectual property challenge than a core ethical one in the sense of harm to individuals or society's moral fabric. So I think we're solid with algorithmic bias and privacy and surveillance as our two main ethical concerns. They're broad enough to cover a lot of ground without getting bogged down in specifics.
Perfect. That clarifies our direction.
Now take 30 seconds to check your answers to questions 21 to 24. On the second part of the conversation. But first, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30.
Okay, now let's consider the regulatory challenges for different areas of AI application. For medical diagnostics AI, where AI helps diagnose diseases, what's the toughest part of regulating it?
I think the core challenge there is ensuring accountability for decisions. If an AI misdiagnoses, who is responsible? The developer, the doctor, or the AI itself? Pinpointing liability is complex.
That's a significant one. Next, self-driving cars. Accidents will inevitably happen, so the crucial challenge is assigning liability in accidents. Is it the car manufacturer, the software developer, or the owner?
Agreed. And for AI used in social media content moderation, that's where AI flags hate speech or misinformation. The challenge there is undoubtedly balancing freedom of expression with the need to prevent harmful content. It's a very fine line.
Precisely. Moving to predictive policing systems, where AI analyzes data to predict crime hotspots. What's the biggest regulatory hurdle there?
Oh, that's definitely preventing discrimination against individuals. These systems can inadvertently target specific communities due to biases in historical data, leading to unfair treatment.
Indeed. How about financial trading algorithms? They make rapid decisions based on market data.
For those, the primary challenge is managing unpredictable market fluctuations. AI can amplify these fluctuations, leading to systemic risks that are hard to foresee or control with regulations.
That makes sense. Finally, creative AI, like AI that generates art or music. What's the regulatory headache there?
That's a new one. But I think the biggest challenge is defining originality and ownership. Who owns the copyright for a painting created by an AI? It's blurring traditional lines of intellectual property.
These are definitely the kind of nuanced challenges we need to discuss. Great work, Chloe.
You too, Liam.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turn to section 4. You will hear a lecture on the fascinating concept of biomimicry and its applications in design and engineering. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 36. Good morning, class. Today, we delve into a revolutionary approach to innovation, biomimicry. This discipline looks to nature for inspiration, studying its designs and processes to solve human problems in sustainable ways. It's not just about mimicking appearances, but understanding the underlying principles that have evolved over billions of years to be efficient and resilient. Let's break down the biomimicry process into its core steps, starting with the first, identifying a challenge. This isn't just a design problem, it's about recognizing a fundamental human need or, more often, an environmental dilemma that nature might have already addressed. For example, how do we create adhesive without toxic glues, or how do we make buildings more energy efficient? Once identified, the second step is to translate this challenge into biology. Instead of asking, how do we solve this, we rephrase it as, how does nature solve this? So, for adhesives, the question becomes, how do organisms stick to surfaces without permanent damage? This shift in perspective is crucial. The third step is to discover natural models. This involves intensive research into organisms or entire ecosystems that have found elegant solutions to similar biological questions. This could be a gecko's foot, a kingfisher's beak, or even a termite mound's ventilation system. It's about finding biological analogues. Next, we analyze and abstract these natural strategies. We dissect how nature achieves its solution, not just what it is. We extract the core principles or mechanisms at play. For example, the underlying principle of a gecko's adhesion isn't glue, but millions of tiny hairs using van der Waals forces. The fifth stage is to apply these principles to design. This is where the innovation happens, taking the abstracted biological insights and incorporating them into new human designs, materials, or even systems. This could lead to a self-cleaning surface inspired by a lotus leaf or a building that breathes like a forest. Finally, the crucial last step, evaluate. Biomimicry isn't just about efficiency, it's about sustainability. We must rigorously test the design for its appropriateness in nature's context, ensuring it fits well and truly contributes to a more sustainable future without causing unintended harm. Now you have some time to look at questions 37 to 40. The implications of biomimicry are profound. It's not just about creating clever products, it's about shifting our perspective from dominating nature to learning from it. This ultimately fosters a deeper connection with the natural world, leading to innovations that are not only effective but also inherently harmonious with our planet. It's about creating a more sustainable future by understanding and respecting nature's genius. Thank you. That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. And that concludes our challenging IELTS listening practice test. I hope you pushed your limits and gained valuable insights into the complexity and diversity of the IELTS exam. Remember, the goal isn't just to get the answers right, but to understand the listening strategies that help you navigate difficult passages and tricky questions. Now, let's go through the answers. Compare them carefully with your own.